Okay, let's be a little bit bold and let's make some ooey gooey chocolate cashewy cookies. These are just everything. And if you've nothing sweet in the house, you can throw these together in about a half an hour. Very simple to make, simple ingredients, and they are delicious. Kettle on, medical detectives on, sorted for the night. This batch makes about 6. They are irresistible to man, woman, child, and beast. The dough freezes, and these cookies as well, once you've baked them, if you get them into the freezer within about 2 hours, they defrost nicely. So, soft butter, 115 grams, 100 grams of white castor sugar, and 55 grams of brown sugar. That's going to be our starting point. But actually, pause, go and preheat your oven. I always forget to say that. 180 Celsius. Now, I'm going to continue prepping my ingredients. We also need 215 grams of just all-purpose flour. So go ahead, weigh that out, put that to the side. Then we are going to need some bicarbonate of soda. We're going to need some vanilla extract and a medium egg at room temperature. The butter needs to be soft, the egg needs to be at room temperature. Now, I'm going to use some salted cashews. This recipe came about because my shop didn't have hazelnuts and I was jonesing for hazelnut cookies. I was like a smacked arse. I was so mad that there was no hazelnuts and I said, oh, whatever, I'll just try it with the salted cashews. And you know what? It was the best batch of cookies I've made in years. So just a little handful of cashews in there and we're going to bash them up. We don't need them to be, teeny tiny ground down. We just need them to be, not full size, not huge. No one wants to crack a tooth. Lovely. And then the final thing we're going to need is our chocolate chips. I just used milk chocolate, just 100 grams. Perfect. So now I have all of my ingredients set out and I have my oven preheating. This is where I actually start with the mixing. I'm going to use my stand mixer. I hate the stand mixer. I'm probably one of the only people that prefers like the old-fashioned handheld electric mixers, but for the purpose of recording a video, why not? So we're going to cream our butter and our sugars together. This is going to be like 3 continuous minutes at minimum, depending on how powerful your mixer is. We want it to be really well creamed. You might have to stop it every now and then just to scrape down the sides, but ideally we want to see the colour turn lighter, and we're going to want this mixture to be stiff. We want it to kind of give a bit of pushback, a bit of resistance when we're in there stirring it with our spatula. So just keep creaming it. It will really pay off, trust me. So we can see it here. This is how I want it. It's lighter in colour, it's sturdy, it's stiffened, and it's not coming off that spoon. I can turn it upside down and it's just like one big lump of cookie dough. I know it's a bit dull in my kitchen this morning. The sun has gone away, but it is lighter in colour. So let's get our wet ingredients in. We don't need much mixing from here on, just 2 teaspoons or 2 capfuls of this vanilla bean extract. I love this stuff. And then we're going to crack in our egg. And then I'm going to add in just a half teaspoon of baking soda or bicarbonate of soda. And I just gave it a couple of seconds. I cleared down the sides and another couple of seconds. I really don't want to overmix. I just want to make sure I can't see any of that yellow yolk. And I'm happy. So now we're going to go ahead and pop our flour in. You can do this in a couple of little goes. I do it half and half. No matter how incrementally I add the flour, it's always just going to go poof up in my face every single time. So yeah, give it a little, there we go. Everywhere it goes. And then throw in the rest of your flour. I already know what's going to happen. Okay, round 2, here we go. Yeah. Who could have guessed that was going to happen? I hate stand mixers. I hate them so much. The flour was in my brows, it was in my hair. Okay, now you might be thinking that's not a lot of mixing at all. Like, would you not go another even 5-10 seconds? It's fine. Honestly, I'm going to be mixing in by hand my chips and my cashews, so it's going to get a bit of a manual mix. And you can see here when I take off the attachment, like the sturdiness in that dough, like that's where we want it. We really, really don't want to overmix. Not at this point anyway. So we go ahead and we get our, I don't know what I'm chatting about at this point and why I'm just standing there holding this. But we get all of that dough out of the attachment into our bowl, scrape out the stand mixer bowl, and here we go. Here's our cookie dough. Beautiful. So we're going to go add our chocolate chips and our cashews. And normally with bacon, we like to get in with our hands, don't we? But just don't do it for this. You don't want the heat of your hands to kind of get this cookie dough all melty. We want to try and keep it as cool as we can. So just mix it, mash it, give it a bit of a knead with your wooden spoon or your spatula, whatever you're using. You just want to make sure that everyone's going to get a bite of chocolate and a bite of cashew. And like I said, this makes 6 cookies. When I'm doing this batch, they make 6 big cookies. There's no reason you can't make, smaller cookies and have double the amount. Again, you can freeze this dough, so you can portion it out and put it into your freezer and take them out little by little as you want a cookie. Or you can just cook them, then let them cool and get them into the freezer within 2 hours of baking. Now, you want to divide this out. Get a big baking sheet, the biggest one you have. You want to space them out. Parchment paper down. I never knew how bad I was at dividing things equally until I watched it back on video. It's shocking. It's actually shocking. I think it's an inner ear thing. It must be. So just throw them on your tray, get them into the oven. They only need about 10 minutes in the oven. Now you can put them into the fridge to chill if you want, if you're not going to cook them right away. I don't bother. Just get them in there. Look at them. Look at them. And here we are. You just want them, like I said, 10 to 12 minutes. You want to see the golden brown crispiness around the edges. They're going to be really soft in the middle, so just leave them cool on this tray. Don't start trying to transfer them to a wire rack. This is what will happen. They're very, very fragile, but they will harden. And look, I was taking this nice video. That one looks like a sad face. Nice video of my cookies, trying to capture just the beauty of them. We'll separate them in a minute. Little Siamese cookies. And then what happens? Drop my phone. You can see the imprint of my phone. Oh God. It's fine. They're still delicious. Just leave them cool. They will harden. And this batch was only for a family member anyway, so they got a good laugh out of the phone cookie. Now, while they are still soft and on this tray, you can kind of round out the edges. You can separate the Siamese cookies out nice and carefully. Try and get them into a more uniform shape. That one, there's no help in that one. That might actually just have to be my cookie. Or you can do that bowl hack that you see people do. I've never actually tried it. You just throw the bowl down over the cookie and swirl it around underneath and it like rounds out the edges. It's genius. I'm far too lazy to, put that much production value into my cookies. It's normally just me eating them, so I don't care if they're misshapen. Best case scenario, someone's over at the weekend and I send a batch home with them. They don't care as long as they taste nice. The shape is the shape, whatever shape it is, fondant and all. Now, last thing I will quickly mention, when these are fresh out of the oven, I always sprinkle a little bit, just a little bit of sea salt over the top. Well, any salt is fine. I like sea salt. It really just, it's a little bit of an extra added yum. But that's it. That is my chocolate chip cashew cookies. Give them a try. They're really easy and really, really yummy.